Hi, I'm Brent Johnson, and today I'm at Holy Name Oratory in Madison, Wisconsin. We've come across the state a little bit to see some organs here that will be featured as part of the Oregon Historical Society's convention next summer in 2025. With me is John Sittard, who is the organist here. You're the organist for the diocese, aren't you?
I'm the director of music for the diocese and the director of music for the Cathedral of St. Bernard.
Okay, so, and you also familiar with this instrument? Which
Yes.
This is. Tell me about this organ first.
So this organ came to us in 2019, so before my time. It came from First Congregational Church in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And this seminary, this was formerly a seminary. The church was built, the campus was built in the 1960s, and always had an electronic instrument. So the opportunity came about to be able to acquire this instrument. It's really amazing. We all have heard things that have not gone so well with trying to relocate instruments, and happily that is definitely not the case here. The organ, it's miraculous how it fits the chambers perfectly, and it's the perfect weight in this beautiful acoustic. It just could not have been a better match.
So the chambers were here, we just didn't have an organ.
Exactly.
And this one just fit right in the space. That's beautiful.
It's incredible.
So we have Aeolian-Skinner, and it has been lovingly restored by Bruce Case.
Yes.
And it looks beautiful, it looks brand new.
Yeah,
So,
he did an amazing job.
I'm anxious to hear it and hear how it sounds in the room. So where would we like to start with this?
Well, let's start with the grate.
Okay.
Start with the 8-foot open.
And the grate is enclosed in this organ.
Yes, the whole entire organ is enclosed. And that's one of the things that really makes this organ so successful.
Yeah.
You look at the stop list and you think, but I think its voicing and I think the expressive chambers, it's really effective. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, all right. Lovely, big, warm, round sounds, not forced at all, but it's got some articulation and has a lot of color, so that's beautiful. All right?
So I'll add the 4-foot to that.
Okay. Just keeps getting more and more colorful.
And then we've got the small 2-rank mixture.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazingly brilliant for just 2 ranks in there.
And if we add, just to finish off the chorus, we would add the mixture from the swell.
Okay. Sounds like it was thought and designed to be part of the great chorus.
Yeah.
And because you can control the volume, you can modify that as necessary.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
amazing. All right. What else do we have in the grate?
So we have a lovely 8-foot Borden, which is very liquid and
Beautiful. Lovely colors.
and then finally, for a small organ to have a second celeste is kind of a luxury. Now I'll play with the expression a little bit. I'll start with box. The box is fully closed. celestial mist.
Yes, indeed.
And then if we add the super coupler,
Lovely to have so many quiet sounds, especially for a liturgical situation like this. It must be just so much fun to accompany and
to improvise.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Like I said, when you sit down initially, the organ looks rather limited, and then you start playing and experimenting with colors. And of course, this time of Skinner with G. Donald Harrison, I mean, it is. These organs can do anything.
Yeah.
And it just, I keep finding colors that I didn't know were here. You have to be inventive.
Well,
that's a good thing.
But he gave you the tools to do it.
Absolutely.
Things like the super couplers. Because that's the only super coupler you've got, or only coupler you've got.
That's
the only great coupler you've got, yes. That's that super coupler. So that's all you need.
That's all you need.
Okay.
So do we want to move to the swell?
Yeah, I guess that's next.
All right. So we have a nice chimney flute. So a nice contrast from the Borden.
Yeah, very colorful, a little bit of articulation on the front there. So yeah, that's a nice second flute to have.
Very nice, very nice. And again, there's no 4-foot flute on the organ. So it works rather well with the super coupler. Then if we add the gamba, so we got our nice solid foundation tone on the swell.
Yeah, those work really well together.
They really do blend well, and this Gemshorn is the perfect weight. So for accompanying to have that 4-foot, it does not overwhelm the 8-foots.
Just having a conversation earlier with someone about how important those light 4-foot strings are, especially in the swell for accompanying something, an alternative to a principal that we normally find,
right,
or even a flute. It just gives you that extra little brightness without overwhelming the sounds you got. So yeah, perfect example right there.
Well, and for the liturgies that we do with cantor, it gives you color because maybe with a choir, a 4-foot principal might not be overwhelming, but for a cantor,
Smaller, quieter.
It adds that clarity, but it never is overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay.
Then to sort of finish up the sort of English effect, we add the oboe. The oboe is just perfect as a solo stop on this organ as well as a chorus stop.
it's just the right volume to fit in with those foundations. Well, can I hear the oboe just by itself a little bit? Just
Oh, sure.
It's cool. Yeah, it's got that lovely cutting, almost nasal color, but then with the other stops, it just blends and gives you
really
that brightness
does.
and the whole extra growl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. All right.
And a trumpet with a little bit of snap.
Okay. See, that's where our fire in this instrument is.
Yeah, absolutely.
kept.
And we can get a nice effect if we add the mixture back and all the reeds. And then there's a 16-foot, which is not original to
Okay.
the organ. But it's a nice secondary pedal stop, and it adds a little bit of weight.
That swell division is enough to accompany a room full of singers in here, I can imagine.
It is. It is. And another nice effect with that reed, if you wanted to, we don't have a high pressure tuba on this organ, but if you want to accompany and lead a verse of a hymn with a solo stop, this combination with super couplers again works quite well.
Amazing. It's got all the foundation and the brightness of a big solo reed, but it doesn't sound like you've got a 16 and a 4.
No,
they all blend and just create a single nice laser sound that you want for that kind of a solo stop.
It's really amazing.
That's fascinating.
And of course, we can't overlook the Celeste.
Of course. Beautiful. Yeah, just again the exact sort of mystical colors you want.
Absolutely.
For quiet moments and for accompanying solo stops. So
Yeah, and if you have this against the the board and you get this.
I said that great flute is amazing. Not too long ago, I had a conversation with Dr. Schaefer, who said something controversial. We were looking at a 1941 Wangren built here in Wisconsin, and was claiming that had Wangren not gone out of business, perhaps they would have been giving Aeolian-Skinner a run for their money. And I'm not saying he's not wrong. I'm just saying that, or that he's not right. I'm just saying that Aeolian-Skinner was obviously doing something a little even different from then and going in their own way. And that flute is one of the places I hear something really unique that I haven't heard in many other instruments.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And that's, of course, G. Donald Harrison's voicing in there and his concepts that were taking us that direction. So,
And I think the 40s was a particularly good time for that company. You know, by the 50s, things started to get a little bit quirky, shall we say? But
well, they were with a lot of companies.
with a lot of absolutely,
So,
yes. Aeolian-Skinner was not alone, but no, I think this organ is just a little gem.
it is definitely.
It really is.
Well, tell me about the pedal division. We've got a few stops.
Yeah, the pedal. You know, again, we might not do things the same way now. We have an independent 8-foot principal and an independent 4-foot.
Okay.
So.
It is unique to have those independent. I wonder if that's a little bit of Aeolian-Skinner just looking forward into bigger pedal divisions and more independent
Sure.
stops. That certainly wasn't something that was common before then. So,
No,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
And then it's all undergirded by you know, a nice healthy 16-foot board. And again, we have that 16 available from the swell. And again, everything is under expression.
So you can close that down and get it as soft as you need.
Absolutely.
Excellent, wonderful. Well, and then viewers will probably notice that there's one more division over here, but that is prepared for.
Completely
So,
prepared for.
There's an antiphonal division, which hopefully maybe is there a place we can.
It would
stash
probably go
one
in
someday.
the transept. Yeah.
Well, maybe someday. So,
maybe someday.
We'll find the right donors and that we can complete that division and have even a more amazing instrument than this already is. But
It really is.
it's really fascinating, and I would love to hear a little what you can do with it.
Okay, very good.
My name is Bruce Case. I'm the owner of the Case Pipe Organ Company here in Madison, Wisconsin. 7 years ago, we were approached by the music director and said, you know, we want to do something spectacular here in our chapel. We don't have a pipe organ, we have an electronic, which is failing. And so that started a quest. I've always wanted to restore a Aeolian-Skinner for the area because we're lacking that a little bit. And so I started searching around, mostly going through the opus list of Aeolian-Skinner. And the first organ I found was Opus 1244, which came out of Rockford, out of the Christian Scientist Church, a 15-rank Aeolian-Skinner. And we purchased that, and I got it back into our shop. And I'm looking down the list again, and I see, oh, there's Opus 1204 in Kenosha. And it was a little bit bigger, and it was exactly what I wanted here because I wanted to get a trumpet and a mixture, which 1244 was lacking, although they're the same period of organ. So I called, well, the church didn't exist. This came out of First Congregational in Kenosha, and I couldn't find them online because the church had been sold and it was now a different congregation. So eventually I figured out where this church was, called them up and said, do you have a pipe organ? And they said, no, we don't have any pipe organs here. We have drums and guitars. And I said, well, I wonder if you could look into that a little bit more. And she says, well, let me ask the janitor. He's been here forever. And the janitor said, well, I think there's a console up in the balcony, and I believe the organ is still up there in some chambers. And I said, I'll be right over. I drove over to Kenosha and went up in the balcony. The console was being used as a base for the audio-visual equipment and the sound mixing board, and hadn't been opened in probably 15 years. So we found keys, turned the organ on, a dramatic blast of wind, but the swell did play. And so I toured the chambers, and the organ was basically pristine, except for some water damage in the pedal. But pipes were unaltered. This was the real deal. So made an offer on the spot, closed the deal in about 10 minutes, and came back 3 days later with a crew to remove the instrument. So extremely pleased to find this organ, an unaltered Aeolian-Skinner. A bit of the history on the organ. The order for it was placed in 1949, and it hit the Korean War. So there was a long delay in getting it built. It really wasn't delivered till 1953. And I have all the correspondence between G. Donald Harrison and the church, most of it having to do is, are we actually going to get an organ? And the correspondence was very interesting, to the point where the congregation, the president of the congregation, was told to go to Boston and see if this company was for real. And he literally did. The president of the congregation was also the president of Snap-on Tools, a very big company in the Kenosha area. And he made a trip to Boston and said, is this a real deal? And the Chamber of Commerce said, oh yes, you've got the very finest. And so conversations indicated that severe metal shortages due to the Korean War, and in particular, lack of pipe makers. G. Donald Harrison said, all my good pipe makers are off. It's taking me a long time to build organs. So he says, I will deliver it, don't worry, you'll get your organ. So these were very heady times for Aeolian-Skinner. The order for this organ was placed just a year after the Mormon Tabernacle organ, so it was heady times for the Aeolian-Skinner company. When you look at their opus list, they were extremely busy. So this organ really represents a pretty much stock concept for organs in this size range, in the, say, 20 rank size range. And it was really a perfect fit for this room. The chambers were a little challenging because they're triangular in shape. Organs are basically rectangular. So I had to build all new swell shades for it to make it fit in. But in the end, it was a perfect fit, and it's just the right organ for this room. So this was a collaboration between myself and the Spencer Organ Company. I needed their expertise in some of the issues with Aeolian-Skinners, but basically we retain the exact sound, made major efforts to not alter the sound in any way. Mechanisms were only improved just to fix little foibles that happen with Aeolian-Skinners, like screws working loose and that. So it's basically a pristine, as it rolled out of the factory, Aeolian-Skinner. We did a lot of technological things to make this a success here. For one thing, I don't know if you noticed, but when you come into the room, you'll hear a lot of background noise from the ventilation system. So the organ is electronically tied in to the ventilation. When you turn the organ on, all the fans in this room go down to half speed. So it makes it a much quieter room. And also, we wanted to keep the air temperature in the blower very consistent, so that's tied in to the HVAC system. So when the blower is running, we're constantly pulling dead air out of the blower so it doesn't heat up. So we have an organ that's extremely stable in terms of tuning. This is the great chamber on this side over here. Not many surprises, because the pipe work is all just glistening, it's clean. We took every pipe out and treated it back to its basic state. All the zinc pipes got stripped and re-shellacked. So this is the softer 16-foot here on the right, the pedal 8-foot on the left over here, 8-foot diapason. All the grade, with the exception of the bottom 8 of a couple of the ranks against the far wall. Coral base sits around the corner a little bit.
We're up at the great chest looking down at the offset pipes. And this is the great main chest. We've come down the ladder, and here's a look underneath the great chest. And now we're looking into the swell.
Standing on top of the floor, a substantial triple insulated box to keep noise down.
And up on the swell chest, we see the oboe and the trumpet here in the front. Mixtures down there, followed by our Celeste. And then the 8-foot roar flute is behind it. The 4-foot Gemshorn, and then the 8-foot viola. The 16-foot pedal there we passed on the way in, and then the top of it is here on this offset chest in front of the swell. John, thank you so much for letting us come in and see this lovely Aeolian-Skinner instrument. It's just wonderful to see an instrument saved, and especially given a home where it's used and where it sounds good and where people can appreciate it. So this has been beautiful to hear, so thank you for playing.
Thank you for being here.
If you want to come hear this instrument, you can do that next summer in 2025, the OHS convention. This will be one of the stops, and you're playing a concert, right?
Absolutely.
So that'll be a fantastic time. You can come hear the guy who knows this instrument play it himself, and it just sounds wonderful in the room. So I hope you'll plan on doing that. There's information about the convention down in the description. While you're down there, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and remember you can subscribe, because we might still have some more videos from Madison coming out. So keep watching and click the bell for notifications. Until those videos are out, you can always find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations: OrganLive.com, Positively Baroque, and The Organ Experience. Thank you again, John. This has been a fantastic stop. I'm Brent Johnson. Thank you for watching.